An absolutely thrilling series.
Yeah.
Like, this series is more than anyone could have asked for. Several people thought it would go 4, some thought it would go 5. It's already looking like it's gonna go 6. It has to go 6.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenal series, and I love what Halliburton said. Essentially, he said what many of us say in football: don't let one play beat you twice. Don't let one loss beat you twice. Shady, the Thunder, they tied it up. You've had your confidence on the Thunder the entirety of this series. Who you more confident in now, though, obviously?
Now. I ain't changed. I've been the same. When they lost game 1, I said the Thunder's a better team. They're going to win this thing out. When they lost game 3, I say, yo, don't trip. Don't worry about it. The Thunder going to win this thing. They're a better team. They're going to figure it out. And then now we at game 5, and I'm saying the same thing, same song. The Thunder, they're a better team. And game 4 was a prime example of what I was talking about forever. You got pros and you got college. If you look at the way the the way the Pacers been winning, it's been a college format, right? Team effort, everybody pitches in, right? No real superstar that's really driving the bus. We all kind of taking turns driving the bus. We all taking turns eating each other's lunch. Look at the Thunder side. You got one big dog. You got a smaller big dog that's carrying it too in Jay Will. Yeah. If you watch game 4, who was the closer for the Pacers? You get a shot. You get a shot. I get a shot. There was no closer. Yeah. You go to the other side. SGA, MVP, showed up. Yo, we down. Who gonna score for us? I'm gonna shoot the 3 ball. I'm gonna go there and get the layups. I'm gonna go get the fouls. And I'm gonna end the game. That's when you have the superstar player, and it's not the college format. Yeah. Look at this. Rise up. Give me mines. And now when you get in the clutch moments, because I feel like, you know, as a team, you can get you to the last possessions or 2, right? You get you there. 4th quarter, maybe got a 5-point lead. You can get you there. But who's gonna close the game out? The Pacers had nobody to close the game out, and that's why they lost. Look at the other side of the Thunder, they did. So, Slick, I owe you dinner, but don't get too full. You owe me dinner.
Yeah. Don't get too full. I'm so torn on this series. I'm going to say I'm more confident in the Pacers because I'm more confident in Carlisle. That's what I'm going to say. The reason the Thunder won that game, on the surface, it appears that it was won because of Shea. But in reality, that game was won because of Daigneault, the coach of the Thunder. Because he had the wherewithal to suggest, hey, if I rest Shea more in the first half, Shea's going to have some energy to play down the stretch. You realize SGA, the MVP, had 15 of his team's 16 final points. SGA, the MVP, scored 15 points in the final 4 minutes, 38 seconds of the game, when he scored 20 points in totality the previous 43 minutes of the game. So, yes, SGA is the face of that team, and he is the face of that ball game, but that game wasn't necessarily won because of the face. It was won because of the mind and Daigneault controlling that game. I do not think Rick Carlisle will get out-coached more times than not in the final 3 games of the series. I just fervently refuse to believe that. When watching the game, I'm texting Shady, I'm texting James, I'm texting Rick, because I was like, yo, are they attacking SGA on the defensive end? And to everybody kind of agreed, like, yeah, to some degree they are. Because SGA has to realize, conserve his energy on defense so that he can execute on offense. But when I'm watching that game, I realize this isn't a coincidence the series is tied up. The Pacers are a really good team that plays really good defense. Nembhard, phenomenal defense. Neesmith now has so much film on the opponent that he's overly anticipating Chet Holmgren's moves. Thus, he's drawing fouls because he's beating Chet to the spot that Chet's trying to get to. He's just a little too aggressive when he gets there. So I'm more confident in the Pacers, not because of the players. I'm more confident in the Pacers because of their head coach. Truly, I believe this game is a coin flip. I mean, the Pacers had a 10-point lead with 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter of that game. Nobody would have thought the team that dominates 4th quarters would have lost that game, except for Daigneault conserving energy for SGA, allowing the MVP to do what MVP does and close that game. I don't think there is a wrong answer. I'm going to suggest it is the Pacers because of their head coach.
Yeah. And I am going to go, you guys make great points in terms of setting up where this series is being decided. I'm going with the Thunder simply because the Pacers gave away everything that they earned in games 1 and 3. They gained the home court advantage and the psychological edge in game 1, like proving, you know what, if it's a close game, we're the better team. And we're going to take home court advantage away from them. And then they amplified that in game 3 in the way that they won. And then they gave it all back in game 4. Oh, it would have been better if they'd gotten blown out, because they could at least say, if we keep it close, we're the better team. They gave that away. And to your point, like Mark Daigneault closed the difference in coaching in this.
Absolutely.
Do you know that this was the first game in the series that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't play all 12 minutes in the first quarter. He played a very conservative 7.5 minutes. And then getting to the free throw line gave him rest. The one thing I'm going to push back on with Shady is, and this is why Carlisle is important, I do believe that they have a closer. But it's not necessarily Tyrese Halliburton. It can be Pascal Siakam. Or it's whoever you decide, Carlisle decides, but he picks the right one. Pascal Siakam had one shot in the fourth quarter. One shot. Like, you can't not go to him because in many cases, he's the one guy who can get to a spot and get a shot. And they didn't go to that. So ultimately, now that it's even, and now that everything is shifted back to the Thunder's favor, like if it's even going into the series, I said, I think the Pacers can make this an interesting series, but I don't know that they can win it. And then they win game 1 and they win game 3, and I'm like, they've given themselves the edge. And what they did was, in game 4, they didn't realize, like, we got to maintain that edge. They gave it all back. And now it being an even series again, my feelings shift back to the Thunder.
Yeah. Oh, well, come on. Hey, look, we got seats for you now.
Yeah.
I stayed the same. But for you, hey, we got seats. You want to come over now?
Only for Slick.
You know what I mean? If you want to come over, we got room for you,
You
dog.
did come to the dark side, man.
And James, welcome him kindly. Welcome him. Open arms.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Doors open. You ain't got to ring the doorbell. Yeah, you ain't got to ring the doorbell. Doors open. I said this was going to be a gentleman's sweep. The Pacers surprised me. They did, by the way they playing. Even in game 4, they had me, I was sitting there sweating for a minute like they about to go up 3-1 until Shai got the ball and closed the game. But more confidence in the Thunder.
Easy.
I don't see a way they get a game in OKC. And at this point, you got to get you one there. They are 9-2 at home, and 2 of those losses, they was beating the other team down and just laid an egg the last 4-5 minutes of the game. It ain't like a team came in their home court and said, we smacking you, take this L. It's not. So I don't know how the Pacers can come into OKC and win a game. And Slick, I think Rick Carlisle did think they had a closer. And in that fourth quarter, with 3 minutes left in the game, the ball was in Halliburton's hands every time down the court to make a play. And he didn't. So I don't know how you just go from, hey, all right, we gave you a chance to close. Now we're going to give Siakam a chance to close the next game. When I watched that game and it got close, OKC knew where the ball was going. Yeah. And it didn't mean that Shai was going to just shoot the ball and throw it up there crazy. You're going to make the right play, whether it be your mid-range, whether it be finding the open guy to make the shot. The Pacers didn't have an answer for that late in the stretch when things got hard because OKC's defense turned up too, because Shai was guarding too.
Yes, he was.
They wasn't worried about shying away from nothing. Switch. I got him. You know what I'm saying? And the defense amped up too. And once that amped up, it was hard for them to get a shot. And it wasn't a guy that they just said, man, listen, he owned you. We got the switch. Right. You got to go. It wasn't a guy to take over the game. And Shai did.
I think the problem, though, for me in hearing a lot of dialogue in the series, especially from you, Jay, is that, like, if the Pacers do exactly what the Thunder do, you don't look at it with the same glasses. For whatever reason, and I think it's because of, what I mean is this, Halliburton is not Shai. We've established that. Right. But Halliburton did have 8, if not 9, of his 18 points in the fourth quarter. Up until 2 minutes and 38 seconds, Halliburton hits a 3 that extends the Pacers' lead 103-99. Okay. Shai backdoors, he hits a 3. Remember, J-Dub kicks a 3. Boom. Yes. So it's not as though Halliburton disappeared in the fourth quarter. It's more so just that Shai, shout out to him, was the MVP, had 15 of his team's last 16. When I'm watching that game, you say, I don't see how the Thunder lose another game at home. They were dominating that game and blew a lead. That's exactly what the Pacers did last night. On Friday night. The Pacers were dominating that game, had a 12-point lead, if I'm not mistaken. The end of the third quarter, the Pacers could have eviscerated the Thunder. At the end of the third, they could have eviscerated the Thunder. Man. They don't. J-Dub hits a great bucket at the end of the third. Pacers still have a 10-point lead with 9 minutes left in the fourth, and the Thunder make that lead evaporate. So what the Thunder do to the Pacers do to the Thunder, even in this series. Halliburton has been a great closer. Shai's been a great closer. Halliburton has 9 in the fourth. Shai has 15 in the fourth. I just think we keep looking at it with a bias.
Halliburton has hit a couple shots.
Yes.
Right. Shai has been the closer in these games. Give me the basketball and I will take you there. Yep. He has hit a couple shots. Where was everybody at with 3 minutes left in the game, Acho? I understand the whole fourth quarter. Where was you? 3 minutes left in the game to where we make a shot, it's your ball.
Yep.
They ain't do nothing. We make a shot. It's your ball. They didn't have a guy when it was 3 minutes left to go get it. They did it.
But they haven't had a guy this entire series.
And
That's the problem I'm telling you about.
But it hasn't been. But it wasn't,
It hasn't a problem.
It wasn't a problem.
It wasn't a problem game
Games.
1, and it wasn't a problem game 3.
It's serious,
See, I
fellas.
think that's
serious. It's a serious. Okay, so I'll give you this real quick. And it's the first one to 4 wins in this series, correct? Okay, so if the Thunder win these last 2 games and they win 4-2, we're gonna say Pacers played hard, but the better team won, right? As you look at this, you want to give Halliburton his credit.
I'm trying to.
And he gets it. Yeah. And you want to give the Pacers the credit because they playing hard. I'm cool with all that. But when I kept talking about the whole time where they don't have a legit bona fide superstar guy I'm going to every time. Yep. You want to make it Siakam. You want to make it Halliburton. We know who it is for OKC. Yeah. And then you talk about having some good moments for fourth quarter. I'm cool with that. Halliburton made some good shots. Cool with that. SGA had 35 points.
You did.
15 of them points came in the fourth quarter. Well, we must have it.
Yeah.
You want to give it to the head coach about resting? I don't care about no rest because you got to go out there and play. Cool. You resting. I'm not fatigued. Cool.
That makes a difference.
I hear all that. But I got to put the ball in the basket. That's the real difference.
Right.
And when you watch SGA that night, right, I'm shooting mid-range jumpers. But also, we need a 3-ball, and I'm going to give you that. And then after that, in the 3 minutes, he took over it.
Understood.
And then another thing is, once you play in the game and you know this guy's a closer, because not only does the OKC know he's a closer, the other team knows it too. The other coach knows it too. And as you watch it, it's like, I don't know if it's an athlete's thing, but in your head, you're like, here it goes. And there it went. And he took over the game and they won it. So it's just like, and I don't want to beat on the Pacers because they are a really good team and they're playing really good. But sometimes we can't depend on this group effort project. You need somebody super smart to get this job done for the project. And that's who the hell SGA is.
But the same thing that blessed the Thunder has cursed the Thunder.
Okay.
Through 4 games this season.
There we go.
It's not that Shady is wrong. It's just you too confident. Because through 4 games, what blessed the Thunder at the end of game 4, SGA's ability to close, cursed him at the end of game 3 because SGA was too fatigued to close. What blessed the Thunder at the end of game 4, SGA being the one guy to go get a bucket, cursed him at the end of game 1 because SGA had to be the guy to get the bucket and he fell short. The Thunder, what the Pacers, what cursed him in game 4, they didn't have a closer. It blessed him at the end of game 1 because then Turner hits a shot, followed by Naismith hits a shot, followed by Nembhard, Cook, Shea hits a shot, followed by Halliburton hits the game winner. So what I can't do, Shady, is after watching 4 games, it's been dead even. You've been right half the time, you've been wrong half the time. Pacers been right half the time.
Who's more blessed?
Pacers been wrong.
Who's more blessed right now today?
2-2. It's
Time out.
2-2.
Whoa, it's not 2-2.
What you mean?
It's not.
It is 2-2.
It's 2-2.
It's 2-2, and we going back home.
Okay.
Who has the advantage right here? We ain't the same.
Hold on.
Are we the same? Hold on, bro, before y'all Pacers people go. Are we the same right now? Is it the same right now?
You had the same advantage going into the series.
I'm asking you a question,
and who
Slick.
won game 1?
I'm asking you a question. Right now, today, because he's talking about blessings, and I love my God. Who is more blessed today, right now?
OKC's more blessed going back
That's
to the
you.
house, 2-2.
Come on, fellas. Who more blessed
They're
right
going back to the household home court.
Both teams are split at home court.
I know.
So isn't it, hold on. Like, we're all intelligent here.
Yeah.
If both teams are split at home court, there is no, in this series, there is no home court advantage. There's a 50% chance you win at home and a 50% chance you lose at home. The series is currently tied 2-2. Thus far, there's no home court.
So would you rather, hold on.
They got it back.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you rather play on the road at 2-2 or be at home at 2-2?
Of course I'd rather be at home.
Okay, because we're intelligent. So let's be intelligent. You're intelligent, right? Okay, so what do you want to be?
I'd rather be the Thunder.
Okay, so as I asked you today on this Monday after Father's Day weekend, who is more blessed?
OKC.
OKC. And you know what's crazy? Even though they lost game 1 this whole time, because everybody believes in Vegas. Everybody believes in Vegas.
We got teased next.
They've always been favored.
They have.
They've always been favored.
They have.
I'm good,
Real
with leaning Thunder.
Real quick before we
you're
leave.
like making this over.
Yes, that's where I have issues.
Oh, you think it's still a shot?
I can't
really
go
quick
so
though.
far as to say it's over.
Slick, why did you flip? Because when you bet Shady last show before we went to Father, well, no, I'm saying like, what made you flip? Because you're saying Pacers got coaching better.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because that game 4 went exactly as I expected it to happen. Exactly. Until we got to the last 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Yeah. And then it wasn't just that the Pacers, that the Thunder and SGA got it done. It was that the Pacers came apart. in the final minutes. And they had not done that in this series. However you want to look at it, they had not done that in this series, and they had not done that in this playoffs. And it wasn't because it was our go-to guy versus your go-to guy. It was Carlisle and that offense was finding the right guy on every possession to get a bucket. And they didn't do that at the offensive end, and they didn't do it at the defensive end. And if you were going to ask me if we were going to get to a place in the game where it's who can execute best in the last 2 minutes, and as much as they have that go-to guy, it wasn't enough for them to win 2 out of the 3 games prior in that series. So I'm just going at how it worked. We said it. Look, we've never seen a team win the way that the Pacers are winning. And yet they had won 2 out of 3. So I'm willing to say I've never seen a Steph Curry or a three-point shooting team win a championship before, but now I did, so I can't ignore that maybe things are changing in the NBA and how you win.
I'll just say one thing before we go to break, right? They haven't won anything yet. Because you're talking about they won something, right? They haven't won anything yet, and number 2 is...
2 out of 3 games.
Well, they haven't won a championship this way. I haven't seen no champions win this with this group effort. I'll just last thing real quick.
You're right.
If you had to pick, would you rather the police and people in the community like make everything safer for the civilians in the world, or would you rather have Superman come save us? Iron Man, Superman, would you rather one of them guys?
FGA is Superman.
Superman's.
You know what I'm saying? Jay, look. You call 911 or you put Superman in the air. Like,
So hold on. So the Pacers is
Halliburton
9-1.
become kryptonite, please. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.